Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome around the globe to Kangen Water Radio, featuring the Kangen Water Health and Information International Call, where we consider, clarify, and often correct the conventional wisdom around Kangen water technology, the different machines, the science behind water types, uses, and benefits, testing process, the maintenance and cleaning of the machines, and much, much more. We also explore a plethora of other topics as we teach, promote, and discuss the three-pronged approach to health and wellness, hydration, detoxification, and complete nutrition. I'm family physician, Dr. Lisa Battle Singletary, your virtual keto coach, and I'll be joined by my co-host and fearless leader, Mr. Terrence Hope, an Enagic 6A distributor extraordinaire. And together, we bring you the best of both worlds. Thank you for joining us today, everyone. This is amazing. It's call number 418. That's 418. It boggles my mind. And we're just so happy to have you here. Today, we're talking about describing pain. Now, anyone who's gone to a doctor with a problem has had to answer a lot of questions about their pain. And sometimes, I'm pretty sure there are times when you don't think the doctor just could understand what you were trying to say. So I'm going to bring you some information about describing pain. I got a great article on how, different words you can use to describe your pain. But also, I'm going to give you a sneak peek behind the curtain of the healthcare providers so you know what we are asking you when we use certain words and when we ask you to describe your pain. Also, I'm going to give you might have seen something that was developed recently, it's a universal pain scale. And it is universal, but sometimes you still need the right words just to get that description across, and sometimes you still can't get it across. Sometimes you can't describe it yourself, right? But we talked about the idea that pain is subjective. So you can feel it, but the other person, meaning the doctor, nurse, healthcare provider, or just someone you're talking to, can't feel it with you, right? Or for you. So we have to figure out how to indicate to someone what our pain level is, what kind of pain it is, et cetera. So we'll get into all that. And after that, we're going to bring Mr. Hope on and have his comments as well as a Q&A session later. Before we get into all of that, I have a correction to make. I know this. I hope that I know this has happened to you. Sometimes you were like, you had a discussion, or you taught a class, or you shared information with someone. Well, I'll just tell you what happened to me last Tuesday. So just this past Tuesday, I was lying in bed, and all of a sudden, this was after last Saturday's call, right? And so this had been brewing for a couple of days somewhere in the recesses of my brain. But on Tuesday night, I was lying in bed and my eyes popped open because I realized that I had mixed up the geography of Venezuela and Argentina. So, and I meant to correct it on Wednesday's call, but I just wanted to share with you just for a second. Now, I did not mix up the fact that I don't like my crab meat from there. I'm a Maryland girl. I want Maryland, but I mean, if I were going to eat it, but I felt that I needed to clear up the geographical mix-up. So stand by. Let's see. Here is, I hope you can see my screen, Argentina, right? I was describing this long country that was so close to the South Pole, and I called it Venezuela, but it was Argentina. And this is where Venezuela is. So Venezuela's here, Argentina's down here. So just so you know, like I said, I didn't mix up the countries as far as the information that I was referencing, but I definitely mixed up the country's geographical location. So, all right. So we're talking about describing your pain today. And just think about it's hard enough to describe something when both people are speaking the same language, right? But think about describing something to someone that not only doesn't speak the same language that you do, but doesn't even have the same sensation that you, or the same, can't have the same experience that you do. For instance, I was thinking, what if I was thinking about two things. I was thinking about when I do see closed captioning, either on TV, well, on TV, they do this the most. They do closed captioning and they describe the music in the closed captioning, and it'll say something like bright classical, you know, or sultry jazz, or, you know, and I'm thinking to myself, because I have some deaf friends, what does that mean to them? What do they, you know, now very much music has sets an ambiance for a location, whatnot, but I'm like, how does that translate to them? And I thought about just trying to describe the word clear or transparent to someone, or even describe a color to someone who can't see. How does that happen? You know, how does that communication get across? So it can be a similar divide in communication when you are trying to describe your pain to a health practitioner. So I want to show you first the universal, well, no, first I'll show you the behind the scenes sneak peek of what these questions mean when they ask you. So this, I just Googled pain assessment and PQRST, and this was just an article that came up. You could any of these articles that discuss PQRST would give you the same information. This was just the first one I happened to pull up. So shout out to the nurses. Amen. Okay, so PQRST, there it is. Since pain is subjective, self-report is considered the gold standard and the most accurate measure of pain. Only you know what your pain feels like and how much pain you're having. So this is one method, the PQRST method of assessing pain, which is the nurses or the health practitioner's job is to assess your pain so that we can use the pain patterns that we learned about in the last call to determine, well, is this an emergency? Is this acute? Is this chronic? Is this, you know, where in the triage hierarchy does your pain put you? So it's very, very important that we get this right. We have to figure out as health professionals what you're telling us when you're describing your pain. So this is what you may be asked questions like this, and this is a PQRST method, which is one of my favorite methods. P, provocation and palliation. What makes it come on? What makes it start? What makes it better? What were you doing when the pain started? What caused it? What makes it better or worse? What seems to trigger it? Stress, position, certain activities. What relieves it? Medications, massage, heat and cold, changing position, being active. You ever have pains that, because you're sitting too long or you stopped exercising and then the pain comes? What aggravates it? The Q, what is the quality or quantity? What does it feel like? And there are articles, I didn't pull these up, but there are articles you could put describing pain, which is the title of this call, and then words. You can Google the words to describe pain, and you'll see some words such as sharp, dull, stabbing, burning, crushing, throbbing, nauseating, shooting, twisting, or stretching. So and there are a lot of words to describe pain. Trust. The R is for the region or radiation. Where is it located? That would be the region. And does it radiate? So, for instance, pain in an appendix, when an appendix starts to get inflamed, you don't feel it in the area over your appendix. You feel it like around your belly button. But when that inflammation gets when the inflammation builds and the infection is building and that appendix might even be in danger of rupturing, then you'll feel pain right over the area where the appendix is located. So that's very important to know. If someone says to me, I got this pain down here in the right lower quadrant where the appendix is, and they tell me, well, we were a little nauseous and had a little pain around their belly button the day before, I know that they need to get a very quick assessment and possibly get ready for surgery. So as opposed to, they were riding a bike and the handlebars hit them right there. That tells me a whole different story. So knowing the region and the radiation, and then the severity of the scale. And we always ask, how does it compare to the worst pain you've ever had? So a headache that, is the worst headache ever, that is a red flag for us. One of my favorite descriptions for pain, not my favorite description, but I just remember the first time I heard someone use this to describe their pain was for a kidney stone. And they were passing the stone, and it happened to be a woman. And so I'm trying to get her to describe the pain. She said, it's worse than childbirth. And I was like, whoa. Now, I've never birthed any babies firsthand, but I have been present and I have actually delivered hundreds of babies. So when she said worse than childbirth, I had an idea that was a really good way of indicating to me how bad that kidney stone pain was. So that actually made me much more sympathetic to men that came in with kidney stones passing, because I know they're not used to that pain. And, they would feel like some of them, felt like they were going to die from this pain. And I'm thinking, okay, well, the women, they might have felt like that during giving birth, but they got over it. So they know they can get over it. But these guys, like I said, had a little more sympathy for them. All right. And the timing of pain, very important. When did it start? How long does it last? Is it waxing and waning? Now that's another description I love, waxing and waning. And I kind of love those words because my father taught me those words. And he taught me that about the moon. And we would watch the moon wax, go from just the little sliver and get bigger to the half moon to the full moon, and then wane as the rotation of the Earth around the sun caused the moon to appear to disappear or to decrease. And it just also happened at the same time I was into candles and making candles, and the waxing made a lot of sense to me. So waxing and waning pain. All right. So that's a little bit of behind the curtain peek of how we as medical professionals try to get you to tell us what you're feeling. And this is another way. This is the universal pain scale. And as you can see, it doesn't matter what language you speak or how old you are. A little kid can tell you this. So this was a very helpful, but this only tells us the intensity of the pain, but it doesn't tell us the quality of the pain. So the article that I have for you is from healthline.com, and it's called Types of Pain, How to Recognize and Talk About Them. And this article is really in depth because it talks about the types of pain, both in terms that health professionals use, but also in ways that anyone can understand. So, and I think it helps to facilitate the dialogue. So when you want to convey to your doctor or health professional just what kind of pain you're having, and you want to make the doctor understand, this pain is different than another pain, etc. This was a really good article. So I'm not going to read the article, but I do want to scan it for you. So there's an overview. It talks about acute pain and chronic pain. Now, we know acute, right, means short duration. And this pain, the timeline between acute pain and chronic pain changes from time to time, but generally, if a pain lasts more than 6 months, it's called chronic. We especially call it chronic if something that happened acutely, such as a broken bone, blessings upon you, Dale, the previously mentioned labor and childbirth, cuts, burns, etc. If they have healed, but you still have pain 6 months later, then we're not talking about acute pain anymore. We're talking about chronic pain. And of course, they put a Tylenol ad on here, okay. So, nociceptive pain, big word, but basically, you have different types of pain receptors in your skin and in your tissues. And that's actually a study or a talk that I was planning to do after we looked at that. I think it was called 411, How Nerves Heal. We looked at the picture of nerve endings in the skin. I think we did that in that call, but we didn't really go into what the different nerve types were. And that's something that I'm really interested in sharing with you. So maybe we'll do that Wednesday. All right, so nociceptive pain versus visceral pain, somatic pain, big words, neuropathic pain, starting with nerve, right? The nerve damage or nerve dysfunction. And just other tips for talking about pain. Here are some of the PQRST questions, but it gives you words to describe your pain and things to keep track of so that, number one, you can understand your pain better, but also you can share your pain experience better with your health practitioner or your doctor or your friend. Okay, so that is it, I think. So it looks like I'm back. So correct me if I'm wrong, but let me see. I don't have pictures pulled up. Anyway, our next event on the call is exciting, ladies and gentlemen, because I have the privilege of introducing to some, presenting to others, our fearless leader, my co-host, Mr. Terrence Hope, a Magic 6A distributor extraordinaire, health advocate and health influencer to the globe, to the stars. Mr. Hope, are you with us today?
Mademoiselle Dr. Lisa Singletary, yes, I am. And very glad to be here as well. And once again, of course, honored to be sharing the stage with you here on Kangen Water Radio on our Kangen Water Health and Information Call. And so glad that you are here to go into detail for many folks. What is the function of their organs? What is the mechanism of disease? What is the description of pain, as in today's call? And being a resource that allows everyone to ask those specific questions that they often probably wouldn't get answered and going to their doctor's visit when they want to know more about their health, more about what is being prescribed, maybe more about how it's going to affect their body, and getting alternatives that may be of a more natural approach that can be effective. I mean, we can go to the medical doctor and get a, describe our pain. We can get a pill prescription. You're right behind that. Well, your pain sounds like this. We're going to give you this. In the meantime, we'll do some tests. Always quick to give a prescription medication, I find, when we go to our allopathic doctors, but there's a aspect of our health that is skipped over, and that is nutrition. We got one of the largest organs in our body, which is the digestive system and colon and detoxification system, what nutrients you bring. And now there's oftentimes they have a table of the, recommended food groups. You've got the 10 vitamins in iron, the 20 vitamins in iron, the 7 vitamins in iron. Of course, they're all small in what the body actually needs. But we don't really get the details of what is best for our nutrition. So I can go on with that, particularly how the manufacturing of all kind of junk foods isn't really food. Mm-hmm. Did I say it out of my, is that my outside voice? I get blasted sometimes after these calls. What a minute, you better stay back off them Twizzlers. I eat those. Mr. Hope, you mentioned Snickers bars. Now, listen, talk whatever you want to talk about, but you need to stay off my Snickers, right? And that was you, and that's some other people too, but there are people who don't realize that a lot of these things that have been created that are consumable in the mouth that are not beneficial to your health and your nutrition.
Could I just say, as
Sure,
far
you
as the
can just
Snickers
say, sure, why not?
bars, that was a consumption of necessity.
Of course.
When I was on surgery
Does the body
rotations.
good, I heard.
And well, at 3:30 in the morning, when you haven't eaten, et cetera, getting out of surgery and there's nothing around, the Snickers bars get you through the next shift.
Right,
you know?
right.
There were times when my dinner was 30 cc's of Malox, just because I needed it to stop my stomach from burning, because so
Right.
From Malox, well, let's say from nothing to Malox to Snickers bars, there's a hierarchy of benefit there.
This is my mouse. With this mouse, I'm going to hit the mute button. And I'm going to throw in a little caveat of everyone. That was not an advertisement for Snickers bars.
You brought them
Dr.
up.
Singletary was not, I'm going to speak for her. That's right. I'm going to speak for her. That's right. Dr. Singletary was not advocating eating junk food because you were famished. She understood very well that wasn't the best thing for you. She may have just been given an example of what happened when she, in a situation, weakened for the moment under her great strength of understanding of nutrition and hydration and detoxification, and had something that wasn't best.
Well, I had no
That's really what she meant.
I had none of that understanding.
Oh, did I not hit the mute button? I meant to hit the mute button.
Well, see, now you would have to take away the power, because I got co-host power. So your mute button means nothing.
Of course. So everyone out there, to understand that we're ingesting things that are not beneficial, but it's for the profit of those who are manufacturing them, and we want to stay with those things that are proper for your nutrition, what your body is supposed to be taking in properly. So with that, I'm going to give you a little summary on what is our call all about. The Kangen water, health and information call, where we look to be thorough on all matters regarding your health, proper hydration, proper detoxification, and proper nutrition. As today's subject matter has been talking about pain, I will relate that to what our Kangen water machines do. So I'm going to share a little ditty I've got right here, all on the ready, just for your seeking eyes. So welcome to Kangen Water Nation and the Kangen Water Health and Information Call. And let me make sure this shows up on our screen. Oh, let's see. Dr. Singletary, can you see my slides? Voila, I think they're broadcast now. So, Kangen water, yes? What is Kangen water? Hey, come on back here. My computer's doing way too much. It's got too active and too excited. So you saw some of my slides. So Kangen water, what is it? These are the Kangen water machines. And the motto of our company, known as Enagic, is change your water, change your life. Yeah. Kangen water, what is it? The science definition of Kangen water is electrolyzed reduced water. Electrolyzed reduced water. If you want to know what the health benefits are of a Kangen water, don't look up the term Kangen water, because it's our brand name. And there are all kind of commentaries about our brand name, including distributors who talk about the benefits and customers who've used it properly. But the science behind it is electrolyzed reduced water. And under that heading, you can look under the National Library of Medicine's archives and find clinical trials and science reviews about the benefits of electrolyzed reduced water. Now, electrolyzed reduced water is produced in a process known as electrolysis. And electrolysis is a process where electricity comes in direct contact with water. So notice just how I've highlighted these three terms here: electrolyzed, electrolysis, electricity. It's because I want you to see the relationship between electricity, and the process and its outcome. Yes. So electrolysis is a process where electricity comes in direct contact with water and produces something we call electrolyzed reduced water. Electrolyzed reduced water. These are the Kangen water machines, and they are electrolyzed reduced water machines. They produce electrolysis water. They make an antioxidant water in a process where electricity is hitting water. So inside of our machines, 240 watts of electricity is coming in direct contact with your Kangen water machine. Yeah. Our machines produce several grades of water. What if I could pull up one of my other slides? Because I wanted to show you, I've got to come out of this for a second. So I want you to see something regarding its usage. And that's my big busy screen because I'm busy. That's right. I've got a lot of work to do. So you always find me on the go somewhere. And if I can hit my magic buttons, hit a magic screen, hit one of our pages that talks about usage, you might even hear the sounds that the Kangen water machines make. Yeah, yeah. 1, 2, 3, go. So the Kangen water machines have 7 different settings. They produce 7 different types of water. On the top end, you've got the drinking waters, 8.5, 9.0, and 9.5 water. And these are the drinking waters. The pH is a reference to the water's antioxidant effect. Yeah. So 8.5, 9.0, and 9.5 reference the antioxidant strength of the Kangen water. Many people have referred to our machines as alkaline water machines. Yeah. Because of the pH settings that we use to indicate the various strengths and types of the water. But the pH in our drinking water does not relate to alkalizing your body. It relates to it's a measuring tool, really. It measures the overall, it's basically used as a measuring tool of the overall volume of antioxidant ions in the water. And the more antioxidant ions you have in the water, the stronger the antioxidant effect. Yeah. So when we drink our water at 8.5, 9.0, and 9.5, it is an indication of varying antioxidant levels. Ooh, audio. So the 8.5 pH means you have a mild antioxidant level. The 9.0 means you have a high mid-range antioxidant level, and the highest level, 9.5, means you have a high antioxidant level. We want to make sure that when we are giving you Kangen water, particularly for the first time, that we're always giving you the 8.5 pH, because that indication of antioxidant level means we're giving you a mild detoxification in the process. We don't want to overwhelm your colon in the expulsion of toxicity by removing too great a volume of antioxidants at a time. I thought I was sharing my computer. Someone told me I'm not sharing my computer, although I see it showing up on Facebook for some reason. I don't know why
you have to share the audio.
Oh, so you can't hear the audio.
That's what I was saying.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, well, I don't know. So I'll just let you know that it is speaking. Yeah. And okay. I can get really fancy, but maybe not too fancy. So that is what the machines do. Let me just slip over here and maybe I can get really fancy with you all in some kind of other way so you can hear the audio I'm trying to describe.
I think if you go back to share screen.
I'm not sharing my screen?
No, never mind. Some people can hear your screen, I guess. I don't know what's going on. Vernita can hear it. So.
All right. Okay. So so great that she can hear it. So so these are the different types of water for antioxidant levels. Yeah. When it comes to the what they call clean water, it's really just a neutral pH water. neutral pH water. It is a 7.0. Instead of going through the electrical system and electrolysis in our machines, it simply goes right to the right through the filter itself and gives you a purified water. So if you're going to take a medication or something, you know, other than taking supplements, if you're going to take a medication, you can use the 7.0 water, because the Kangen waters are antioxidant waters. They detox, yeah? And there's a degree to which medications do have a degree of a toxic level, which is known and apparent. So there's a conflict if you were to take a medication with the Kangen water. So when you take your medication, drink it instead with your neutral pH water, which they call clean water, which they really just call neutral water, you know, in my opinion. And then, you know, the regular detoxification periods throughout the day, go back to your drinking of Kangen water and get the results you're looking for detoxification. Get the results you're looking for detoxification. Beauty water. Beauty water is a 6.0 pH water. It is for the skin and for the hair. It will actually go into the pores and kill off bacteria under your skin layers, and that will allow your skin to tighten up and smooth out. Ergo, they call it beauty water, yeah? Then at the bottom, you've got the strong acid water, which is a 2.5 pH. And it can be used to kill bacteria, viruses, mold, that type of thing. It's a sanitizing water, highly recommended. And it comes out of your machine from the smaller runoff tube. Those who have the units know the machine has two different routes of water coming out, always for your drinking water all the time, but there's a sub tube. In the SD501, it's gray. In the K8, it's white. It's a smaller tube. That's where your strong acid water comes out. And then simultaneously, when you press the strong acidic water button, 2.5 will come out of the small tube. 11.5 will come out of the larger tube. And from that 11.5, you can put that in a large bowl. It will emulsify oil, which will enable your water to remove pesticides, oil-based pesticides from your fruits and vegetables. You can even use it as like a hyper koshering process, where here's a description of the water in the bowl, detoxifying your food, like a hyper koshering process, where you'll put fish or chicken, meat, rice, vegetables to soak before you actually cook them, and it can pull out toxins from your foods. Yeah. So those are some of the settings on the machines. And I go back to my PowerPoint slide. Yay. Somehow, some way. Got so many things here. Can't see, can't see. Thank you very much. Awesomeness. So the functions of the machine. So here are some of our units. This is the Kangen 8 machine, the K8. It has 8 plates on the electrical circuit. The more plates you have, the stronger the antioxidant effect on the water. Where am I? I got lost. Oh, so I'm trying to do too much, I think. I have to get back to my other screen, and I'm back so I can see what you see. Sorry about 1 second, just making sure I can see what you see. And do you see what I see? Coolness. So this is the Kangen 8 machine, the K8. It has 8 plates in the circuit. The more plates you have in the electrical circuit, the stronger the antioxidant effect of our Kangen water machines. This machine is the SD501 7-plate machine. Has been our popular unit for the past 17, going on 18 years now. Either of these machines are excellent for your health benefits. You can purchase either one. You can have either one. The K8 has some special features. It features a universal power supply system that enables you to travel with this machine to any country in the world without having to use a power converter. You can plug this into an electrical socket and it will work. Highly beneficial for travelers. other special units as well. Either of them will give the antioxidant effects you need for strong detoxification. This is our platinum version. It has a metallic exterior. People use that because they like it, maybe decoratively in their kitchens, or they just like the metallic exterior. It's called the Platinum ST501. It is the same as the ST501 original. It's just a different color. So Kangen water is an electrolyzed reduced water produced in a process known as electrolysis, where electricity and water come in direct contact with one another. There's a great deal of science information you can review on what this water is as electrolyzed reduced water to understand the science benefits. Keep in mind, we don't call it alkaline water here because there are many different ways you can make a water alkaline, but only one of few ways that you can make a water antioxidant. And in this case, we're using electricity to make water an antioxidant water. So electrolyzed reduced water is a term you use to study what Kangen water is. So what's happening in our machines? We're hitting the water with electricity, kapow, as I like to say, yeah? And when you hit water with electricity, it causes the water to divide into its segments and produce these antioxidant ions. Here's our H2O, yeah, water. And when we hit that water with electricity, kapow, you cause a division of the water molecule that produces antioxidant ions. So here is your H2O. Here is the water now broken down to its elements of OH negative and H plus, yeah? One of the things that we use as an indicator for the antioxidant effect is we follow the OH negative. It's also known as N-hydroxide ion. And it is the alkaline molecule that measures for us the overall volume of other ions in the water. We use it as a ratio. If we have one of these, we might have 100 antioxidant ions. If we have 2 of them, we might have more. So the higher the pH, the greater the volume of antioxidant ions in the water. So here's your water once again, hit by lightning, divided into segments. We follow this OH negative, and we get new structures in the water that represent the antioxidant effect going on. In this case, we're just looking at the OH negative and water molecules combined, but there are other ions involved as well. This is what it looks like inside our machines in electrolysis, where water is being hit by electricity and ions are being produced that have an antioxidant effect, process called electrolysis. And once again, you can look up for yourself different research items that point to the antioxidant effect of electrolyzed reduced water. Here they're calling it ERW water in this excerpt from the publication known as Science Direct in an article called Trends in Food and Science Technology, February 12th, 2012 rather. So you can research that, ask us for the references, but always look up electrolyzed reduced water. You'll see many different references. ORP is a measure known as oxidative reduction potential that we use to let us know whether a water or a liquid substance is antioxidant or not antioxidant. So in this case, we're looking for a negative number on our meters that we use to measure antioxidant effect. Here on the scale, you see a 0 in the middle. We go negative 100, negative 200, negative 300, negative 400, and it goes higher, even up to 800 or so. Kangen water is always on the higher end of the scale, and it's negative antioxidant number. So we know this is a very strong antioxidant. On the other side, you'll see 0 again, positive 100, positive 200, positive 400 at the top. And these are letting you know that the positive number in our ORP meter is showing an oxidizing effect, something that cannot be detoxing, but instead will create more toxicity. So we want to stay more on things that are antioxidant, like Kangen water, and avoid things that are more oxidizing, like soda. Here on the antioxidant side, we also see green tea. We also reference vitamin C. Here on the oxidizing side, where you cannot remove toxicity, we see soda, we see tap water, we see different things that are more oxidizing. Dr. Singh, I want to pause there for 1 second and give the call back to you.
Okay, I was just thinking of muting my video. Alrighty, so the chat has been very active, and I know we have some other questions to consider that we had in the pre-call that will require we are waiting for Mr. Hope's wisdom and information. So there was a question about, well, before we go to the chat, I'll go to, Juanita had her hand up for a while. So I'm going to ask you, Juanita, before we go to the chat, if you would unmute yourself. And
okay. Am I unmuted?
You are unmuted.
Well, praise the Lord. I'm having a little bit of technical opportunity. I won't use the word challenge. Someone here in this dwelling, as we know, some semi-boarding home stole my laptop.
Oh
So,
my.
yeah, it's a big airball beyond. But pray for this situation that the seas are calmed. And, but yeah, I had my hand raised, Dr. Lisa, because I have my notes going on here. PQRST. I got them all, but the first one, provocation.
And palliation, I think, was the other.
Which means what brought it on.
What brings it on and what makes it better.
Okay. Because my pain is in my, I don't know the technical term, but I'll say pain in my butt, right? The sciatic one. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, what brought it on? And I started briefing call 411 with my neighbor over there, David. I thought he'd be up over here to come over, but he writes his book late at night, so he sleeps in. And then I wrote down the Q was for quality, the R is for the region, the S is for the severity. And I love the definition of childbirth because I've had one child, and how God does it, as mothers know, it is so. And my daughter, I'm thinking back like 38 years ago, and it feels like right now. And after I gave birth, and I gave birth in a lay down position, I never made it into the room because my daughter gave birth in the hallway. So I remember they rolled me down to that room though. And after I gave birth, they lay the baby on your mama's chest, and all of a sudden the pain is completely gone. I mean, what happens? Endorphins, Bernita, you know this. And so I think about, okay, so that could fall in the line of acute, correct?
Absolutely.
Because my labor started at 8:30 in the morning while the doctor broke my water, said, I'll see you maybe about noon. It was about a good 12 hours. So I think mine went between chronic and from acute to chronic and then gone completely.
No, that was all acute. Chronic starts after 6 months.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, 6 months. Okay, it was all acute. Wow. But very, 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 very intense. And nowadays, I don't know if I were to give birth, because when I got involved with Kangen water, 12, I'm going on 13 years ago. I'm looking at my portfolio right there. It says 9/28/09. So in 21 would be in a couple months, 13 years I've had this technology. This machine is never broken. I've abused it without knowing. Like, always remember to take out that little electrolysis enhancer thing when you transport that baby, because if it eats and corrodes any of that, that's not covered under the warranty. And I have moved my machine beyond numerous counts, and once or twice, actually probably only once, because the second time I remembered, but I always take that out, and God protected my machine, so I never had to have it fixed. Okay, so my other question is, what did you say after the timeline from acute to chronic? I put neuro something. What was that word you used?
Well, there were two N words. One was, but if you're talking about the neuro,
Mm-hmm.
here's the article. Oh no, you can't see that. Hold on. Here's the article. Nociceptive was one of the words, and neuropathic was the other word. Both of them start with N.
Neuropathic. Okay, what is neuropathic again?
Well, neuro's nerve, and pathic means dysfunction, like, that's where we get the word neuropathy.
Okay.
Dysfunction or disease. Like pathology, it's
Nerve.
the study of the disease and dysfunction or death that caused death, the study of the cause of death.
Well, I've got such an interesting living situation here. As you met David, my neighbor across the hall, he's writing a book and his brain is beyond my comprehension. I mean, I always just do this to him. Like, I don't even get it. We got to talk to the doctor or somebody. But he's writing a book about a thought he had 30 years ago and how it all came together. It's too deep. But then my other neighbor has the severely autistic, nonverbal, off the spectrum, they call it, autism. And that young man, I believe, is a genius. He can't communicate verbally as you and I, but I can speak to him now and he speaks to me. And I understand what he means. And I know that you have to look the young man right in the eye and sometimes point blank, like, stop it, Nolan, or, one at a time, or easy. And he can understand those words. And so what's going on with the brain with autism?
Oh, that's a really good question. And we have done a couple of calls on autism and the spectrum, but the signals that are transmitted from one neuron to another, and they don't just go from one neuron to one neuron. Usually it's one neuron to multiple neurons. Can usually, because of the myelin sheath and because of other things, are very shielded, or I'm going to use the word controlled, but and this is one theory of autism, that the stimulation that they get from these signals is too much. So they don't have the same, it's like the stereo of their brain, of their mind, is turned up. The volume is so loud. So they have to protect themselves from all of that stimulation. And so they avoid the stimulation. Sometimes it's visual or auditory or being touched, social situations, etc. But that stimulation is too much for them. And so they have to train themselves. Well, like I said, this is one theory. And one school of thought is that at some points along the spectrum, they can train themselves to deal with that overstimulation. But and so, but I have to say that Juanita, the fact that you have developed that communication makes you a genius too. So.
Wow. And you know what, Dr. Lisa, early on, I offered him Kangen water. And I've been here 4 months. And I swear to you, the very first time that young man took a swallow, and he drank, sometimes you have to hold the glass and help him. But most of the time now he's on his own. And when he drank that water, he calmed down. And some of his characteristics are he loves to close the door. Like he'll come down the hallway and close doors, the bathroom door, my bedroom door. One day we couldn't find him, and I said, "Where's Nolan?" And he was extremely quiet, and he was here, which I'm in my bedroom right now, in my bed, laying not from the foot head to the foot, but the other direction. And he was so skinny. He's tall but slender, and he was underneath the blanket, so they like this kind of stuff, and asleep. So he felt comfortable enough to come into this home, and I know it's the love of God that is illuminating, even though with all the, I mean, right now I'm doing everything in my power to stay focused, because the person on the other side of this wall is playing horrible satanic music right now. So I'm trying to block that completely out. But the
Yeah,
other
I get
question
that.
is, you mentioned about when you were in doing surgery rotation, in doing the Maalox and Snickers. My question is, what is considered a shift? Because my friend was murdered before my very eyes by a doctor in the emergency room, and how long he had been in there on shift. And I believe, and if it was my family member that died, it was not. It was a gentleman I was helping out. But I think that the doctor should be tested. A young 18-year-old told me at the time, why don't they give the doctors, take them off of on call or whatever they are, and test their blood for alcohol and other drugs? Because we know, and you know as a doctor, that you guys are freely given things that we as citizens pay greatly for. And I believe that that doctor may not have been thinking in his right mind when he prescribed a vial of Dilaudid for my friend's pain that should be dripped in by, I believe they say 5 cc's.
Let me cut in for a second, Juanita.
Yeah.
So we know that there are many things that go on regarding pain. And we know that in medications and doctors and hospitals, there are things they do for pain control. And we also know that things can sometimes get out of control. And we know that there are toxicities regarding medications. So things may not always go as they should. And we want to focus here as well, on those things that we can remember to do. And, we talk about Kangen water and its detoxification effect. And one of the things I mentioned in my presentations as well is that Kangen water's detoxification effect, when it comes to pain, will help to remove inflammation. And when you can remove inflammation is actually one of the causes of pain itself. So if there's high levels of inflammation, the body will give you the pain sensations. And of course, that pain can lead to dysfunction, discomfort, and disabilities. So if one can take up a Kangen water or electrolyzed reduced water, as we call it, we are able to then more effectively maybe even control pain at times, and detox the body as it needs to be, so one can get into more balance. So just for right now, I see we got some more questions coming up online here. I want to make sure we reach everyone before we head out, because we have to head out just around the 2 o'clock hour more sharply today than other days. And I do see as well, Vernita has her hand up. Dr. Singletary, you want to unmute Vernita? Oh, Vernita, I think you are now unmuted. You had a question, Vernita?
Yes, about the music. When you mentioned that early on, I think I had something else going on, and I would need to understand how that was relating to pain.
Music.
Yeah.
Songs.
I had this issue yesterday with trying for the people not, for me to be a robot, to pick out sad music. And I'm like, they don't know what's sad to me, but anyway. I didn't get my mission accomplished on that, but the music in relation to pain.
Well, that's a really good question. Where you've landed is an issue of frequencies, sound frequencies.
Oh,
There was a scientist in the 1920s, I think it was. His name was Raymond Rife, Dr. Raymond Rife. And he did a great deal of research on the effects of frequencies on matter, the effects of frequencies on organic biologicals, matter. And he came with an entire menu of different types of vibrations that affect the human physiology and cells a certain way, what things can be used in terms of sound and vibration that help more for the healing aspect, what things can be more harmful. A good example he gave was Ella Fitzgerald was famously known for having a voice that can hit so high that she could shatter glass, yeah? So there was a certain frequency, vibration, that disrupted the molecular structure of the glass, yeah? So there are some things that can be disruptive and harmful, but there are also some things that can bring into greater harmony. What is the molecular structure of particular matter, and what frequency will harmonizes with that molecular structure of that matter, yeah? So these are areas that many people just don't necessarily intuitively think of, but they exist. We have a very large universe, and there are a great many truths about how it actually functions. So now when you look at music and songs, yeah, what are you looking at? You're looking at frequencies, sounds, vibrations, yeah?
okay.
And the vibrations will affect the body in different ways. We know that, for example, let me just relate it to things many people may be aware of. I'll use an artist, hopefully everyone knows who that is. Stevie Wonder, for example, yeah? And so Stevie Wonder will have a song, my Sherry Amor, lovely as a Milky Way, whatever the case is, right? So there's a certain twist in the frequencies and the sounds that make you feel what? Love, make you feel sad, make you feel happy. I think it was Parliament Funkadelics that said, if they can take your head, the body will follow, right? So they're talking about dance music. Why is it that when a certain sound comes on, people will instinctively move and vibrate and jump around? It's affecting their physiology in different ways. So sound, when it comes to pain, can also be researched to see exactly what frequencies might be effective in helping certain aspects of the body deal with pain. So physical pain, So based on Rife's research, you might want to look at that. So Raymond Rife, R-I-F-E, Raymond Rife. You can look that up and look up sound frequencies and what he talked about with that. And I think it might help to correlate with music, yeah? Mm-hmm.
Right, now let me say this, and then it's just a comment. I love being pregnant. Oh, I absolutely loved it. I had monthly cycle pain worse than childbirth pains. But as far as the frequency goes, when I had my last kid, I was at a party, and whatever music they started playing, the baby didn't like it, so I had to leave. I mean, that boy got to jumping, and I said, oh no. But yeah, I now understand the music can be soothing. Some movie I perhaps saw where they would, when David or Joseph played for King Saul.
Saul,
I got it.
yeah.
All right, that's it.
David
I'm
played
done.
for Saul.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So let's see if we have more questions. So just, we really got to wrap up because Dr. Singateri's got to run. I might be able to take a few more questions if she has to leave early.
There was, we had some questions on the pre-call that I think.
You're in your pre-call.
We were waiting on you, man.
On the pre-call?
Yes.
I don't do pre-call. I do call. But I did notice someone asked a question about medications and supplements in the chat as well. because I was talking about the 7.0 water on the machines and how that can be used to take a medication. You can use the Kangen water itself to take your supplements because it actually is said to allow you to absorb your supplements better. So supplements, vitamins, those types of things, nutrients, take that with your Kangen water. Medications, prescriptions, that type of thing, take that with any other substance, whatever, liquid. But the Kangen and the machine has a setting for it for neutral pH water that you can use. So what other questions do they have in the pre-call?
Okay,
Okay.
first, I am going to leave because I do need you. I need to go, but I do want to say that call number 180, we talked about music and the brain. And there were other calls we've discussed pain. Call number 307, pain, what is it? Call number 318, we talked about the autism spectrum and the increase in incidence and the prevalence of autism. And in 319, autism in adults. But before the call, Amir, who was on with us, had a question about, he had two questions. One was about calcium deposits on containers holding Kangen water. And I was wondering if you would address that.
Sure. Amir, I think is from the United Kingdom, yeah?
He's here, I will ask him to unmute.
Amir, are you there?
Yeah,
Good. You're in the UK or you're in India or where?
I'm in Maryland.
Well, you're closer than I thought. Oh, yes, you have a JR2 machine, as I recall, yes?
Yeah.
Yes. So, on occasion, when a person might fill a container with Kangen water, they might see some white substance in the bottle and be wondering what that is, or be concerned. So the white substance in the bottle is calcium, yeah? And the Kangen water machines, as they produce electrolyzed water, the Kangen water machines draw on the calcium in your tap water to produce the electrolysis reaction, yeah? So on the metal plates inside the machine, calcium can build up. If it becomes a bit excessive from time to time, you can find it leaching out into the water. Harmful? No. But you want to do a couple of things to maintain your machine and keep it clean. One of which is simple to do. You could run the beauty water setting on your machine. Run that for about 20-30 seconds at the end of each night. Because what it does,
You do it every night.
you do it every night. That's good to know. Then there's one other feature. So just so everybody else knows, running your beauty water for about 30 seconds each night expels calcium from the plates inside the machine. I've actually been doing that for the past, 11 years, 12 years on my machines, and it'll keep it in pristine condition, although it's supposed to, because it reverses the polarity, which kicks off calcium deposits. And then the beauty water itself, as a mild acid, dissolves calcium deposits. So one shouldn't really see that doing that every night, but you do it every night for 30 seconds. That's the last water that goes to the machine. So I'm actually surprised you're seeing calcium deposits. Here's another thing you can do. The machine comes with what's known as a e-cleaner. An e-cleaner, it's like a little beige cartridge that came in the box with each machine that was sold. There are some silver packets that also come with your machine. In the silver packets, there's citric acid, powder. So you put that into the cartridge, little beige cartridge, and you put it into your machine where your filter is. So essentially you would momentarily remove your filter and then replace that with.
You do it every 2-3 weeks.
And you still see calcium.
Yeah. You see calcium and foggy.
The fog is a good thing. The fog is electrolysis. The calcium, I'm surprised you're having calcium with all that.
Since we bought the machine, actually, I tried to contact the company and the agent actually didn't give me a right answer.
Here's
I'm
the
not
answer.
worried about that.
The answer is, I think for your machine, which I'm surprised that it's having the excess calcium, is to have it deep cleaned in the local headquarters of eNagic. Now, the local headquarters is in New York City. Machines are shipped in to be cleaned and then shipped back to the customer. So, and they'll deep clean it and clear out whatever's on it, which is sometimes recommended every couple of years. But I'm surprised your machine with the beauty water and citric acid use has saw any excess calcium. Not per se harmful, but it should be clear that the cloudiness is okay. Electrolyzed reduced water tends to be cloudy at times, so that's one of the processes of electrolysis. So let's connect offline, because I know that I sold that machine to you here in Maryland, and Amir, I'll contact you offline and see about helping you get that machine deep cleaned in the New York headquarters. All right.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome
you.
very much. You're welcome.
Thank
You're
Appreciate-
welcome.
appreciate-
Pleasure. Okay. So let's see if there's any more questions online. Just go ahead and raise your hand. Let me know you have a question. I'll take some new questions right now as well, as I believe Dr. Singletary may have stepped away to go and handle other things in the health range and so forth and other things in life. So if you do have a question, I love taking the questions and being thorough. As we close out here, I'm just going to go over a couple of things. Do I see a question? Juanita, hold on one second. And we'll make sure we get anybody else that wants to come in. We want to make sure everyone has a chance to get in. And before we close out, let me just go over just a couple of last items I wanted to show just regarding our water systems. We talk about the Kangen water as electrolyzed reduced water, and I make a distinction between Kangen water and the alkaline waters you might otherwise find in the stores. Those waters are using magnesium, calcium, potassium. They're using alkaline minerals to make a water alkaline. Just because a water is alkaline does not mean that it's antioxidant, all right? So if you put minerals in water, we call that chemical addition. You make a water alkaline if the minerals are alkaline, but you don't make a water antioxidant per se. If you hit water with electricity, you'll make that water antioxidant, because that's a process of what electrolysis does for water, yeah? If you go to the store, you'll find many different types of alkaline water filters for your home, alkaline waters, mineralized waters in the market, and they're only just got there as a mimic of what Kangen water is. And while Kangen water became known as an electrolyzed reduced water, but more so popularly as an alkaline water, the water bottling manufacturers thought they could take advantage of that marketing and sell a water that was alkaline, even though it's not antioxidant. They might try to say that it is, but you're not going to get that. On our meter that I showed you earlier, if I would have put in an essential water on the scale, the essential water would show up in the positive range on our scale, whereas the Kangen water is in the negative range. So even though the alkaline pH might be the same, its antioxidant level will be different. Essentially, it will be oxidizing. It'll show up in this range, in the positive range. Kangen electrolyzed reduced water will show up in the negative range as an electrolyzed reduced water. So we have to remember, we have to detox the body like we detox and clean our fish tanks to keep them clean, so the body does not have a high toxic load. High toxic load can lead to hyperacidity. Hyperacidity can lead to inflammation, and inflammation can lead to pain. As Dr. Singletary was talking about, your body's mostly water. The kind of water you have in your body will dictate the antioxidant strength going on at a time. So drinking an electrolyzed reduced water gives you an antioxidant water, gives your body better function, and it keeps it more purified. Keep away from junk foods. That includes Snickers bars. That's right. They are more cause more toxicity within the body, which can lead to inflammation, which can lead to pain, but it can also lead to cell dysfunction. Things like Snickers bars, sorry to say, Twizzlers, Skittles, candies, McDonald's, we're not even sure that's even food. I said it, that's right, I don't think it's food. All these donuts that have gluten that cause inflammation, refined sugars, all these create problems in the body, which can lead to dysfunction. Soda can be deactivating of your strong acid for your stomach acids, disabling your body's digestion function. So there's different things to be aware of about the foods we intake, the information that's present within our environment, and the ways we can remove toxicity by drinking an electrolyzed reduced water. So Kangen water, antioxidant. Different pH levels are existing in different organs within the body. Some are alkaline, as in the heart and the bloodstream. Some are acidic, as in the stomach and digestive system. The body regulates that on its own. The body's ability to detox is imperative. Kangen water helps with the detoxification of the body. So without a high toxic load, it is more able to maintain the pH levels throughout the different organs. Remember, the body is not alkaline. The body has acidic chambers. The body has specific alkaline chambers, and they must all stay at their specific pH range in order for you to be healthy. Do not try to, in order for you to be healthy, do not try to make your body alkaline. It is not healthy for you. Kangen water machines detox you so that your body's pH can stay at equilibrium levels where your body can be healthy. Yeah. So just a little points I wanted to make sure I ended with, so you were aware of the different aspects of the Kangen water, different types of waters out there called alkaline waters, and the different things that can be harmful. You know, the body is self-healing. Many of the animals in the wild to keep a diet, of course, you know, instinctively, of those things that are beneficial to it. No junk foods, no soda, simply produce and protein. They have what they need for nutrition, with that the body stays healthy. The body can be self-healing. You know that at the surface of the skin, even down the depths of the bone, that your body can heal itself. Your body has self-healing ability right down to the cellular level, as long as you can remove toxicity, stay energized, stay nutrified, as Dr. Singletary likes to say, but have your full nutrition. And with that, your body can be healthy. Your body is a self-healing entity. Stay with the proper nutrition, hydration, detoxification, avoid junk foods, and you will do well, live well, and can have a happy life. Yeah. So those are just some last comments I wanted to add in people understanding Kangen water, the Kangen water machines, and the benefits therein. And I'm going to go ahead and get ready to close the call out, because we have had quite a long session. Juanita, I know you had one last question. I might take you in just before we close out, but please keep it extremely brief. We do have to go now. If anyone else had a question, I'll take that as we exit. Juanita, just keep it 2 minutes and let us go ahead and head out of here. Go ahead, Doctor. Go ahead. Yeah, Juanita.
Doctor, thank you. Okay, I have 3 things. Amar,
Brief things.
could it be his water source, or could he possibly need a pre-filter? And is he anywhere close where they could test the water? Like we have a local place here.
He's in
town.
Washington. He's in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. It's not known for excessive calcium. Those things can happen where calcium is excessive, but I don't think that's an issue where he is. I might even recommend a pre-filter to him as well. But otherwise, I think a deep cleaning for him is in order. But we'll look at those things in the same time.
And the other thing about when we were talking about McDonald's supersizing, I looked it up. In the year that McDonald's started the supersize was 1987. In the year they said it stopped was 2004. So there's 17 years, almost 20 years of children eating that stuff thinking that it's food. So
well, people still eat McDonald's. It's an issue because they're taking it on a regular basis. They probably made a reaction to the health trends that were going in the United States, by cutting it back. But, we know that overall we want to eat things that are organic, fruits, vegetables, things that are real food, stay away from gluten, stay away from toxic substances, and we can be healthy. Yes.
And my last question was, Mr. Hope, how do you spell kapow?
Listen, KAPOW. Ask Batman and Robin. They've gotten it all their animated cartoons. So they'll be all
Is
right.
it all capital or small little?
Juanita, go ask
I
Batman,
love
okay? All right. Listen, we've got to get out of here. Any other questions on here? No other questions I see. God bless you, Juanita. You're all right. You're all right. Okay. All right. So thank you all for coming to the Congo Water Health Information Call today. We're very glad to see you every week. You can actually reach us throughout the week as well on our main numbers. In the United States, it is 866-526-4368. 866-526-4368. Overseas, if those are in the UK, reach us on our UK line at +44 0800 086 9793. That's +44 0800 086 9793. I was actually on my page and I got away from it. Sorry. And in Dubai, thank you very much. Where was I? Sorry. And in Dubai, there we are. You can reach us on our phone line there at +971 0800 018 589. I know for those in Dubai, an 800 number is very unusual, but 0800 018 589 in Dubai is the number you can reach us through here at Congo Water Nation, where we network in Dubai as well. In the UK, 0800 086 9793, 0800 086 9793. In the United States, 866-526-4368. Thank you all for coming to the call today. Look forward to seeing you again on our Wednesday call at the same time in your region, 1 p.m. Eastern Time USA, 6 p.m. in the United Kingdom, 9 p.m. in Dubai, 10:30 p.m. in India, and 10 a.m. in the morning over on our Pacific coast, where Juanita is. All right, y'all. Thank you all for coming to the Congo Water Health Information Call. We look forward to seeing you again. Contact us with questions. Love to help you at any time. God bless.